far, you should be able to do this. That's how much faith I have in you. What's that? Oh, thank you. Yes. Pink. You think I would have seen that? Go ahead and do it on your board. Hold that up when you're done. Nice. Nice. You didn't hold your board up. Be proud. Hold it up with pride. Nice. I don't see a whole lot of boards going in the air. Nice. Nice. Anybody else? That was a very low percentage of those that wanted to share their answer. All right, let's do this. Where do I begin? Yes. Distribute. What am I distributing?
6
into the parentheses? Good. So I use my distributive property. I'm going to wait until I have all eyes before I keep going, because for sure this will get asked later. Okay? So we're going to distribute the 6 to everything in the parentheses. What is 6 times 6y? What is 6 times -4? What do I do with the 12y? Just bring it down. Can't do anything yet. What's my goal? What's my visual? What do I want? I want y equals something. There's my thought bubble. I'm dreaming of y being alone. What am I going to do with it? What do I do here? I've got a y on this side and a y on that side.
Minus 36y.
Why would you minus the 36?
Get y alone.
It would get y alone eventually, right? What if I subtracted 12y? That gives us an unbalanced equation, which is not horrible, but sometimes it leads us down a bunny trail and causes us to get a little off kilter. Yes, ma'am?
How do you know if it's going to be an unbalanced equation?
Because if you look on this side of the equation, that's the only thing that's there.
Oh, so you never do it on that side then? If there's an equal sign, you always do it on the left side first?
Not necessarily left or right. what you're looking to do is get them together. But if I were to remove the 12y from this side, it would leave nothing over here, and that gives me an unbalanced equation.
Oh.
Which is fine if you're okay with that. Me personally, I'm not okay with that. I get lost. So if you want to keep it balanced like the seesaw, because you don't want anyone ever jumping off one end of the seesaw, especially when you're in the air, right? All right, so we've got our 36 and our 12 to get together. How do I get my 36 over there?
Subtract.
Louder?
Subtract.
What principle am I using?
Addition.
But I'm subtracting. Nicely done. So we're going to subtract 36 from this side as well. 36y. Taking the whole term. We're not separating. What are we left with on this side?
Negative 24.
Equals, what is positive 12 and negative 36y?
Negative 1.
Does everyone agree?
Whoops, daisy.
Did you find your mistake? Good. So what do we do now? Is y alone?
No.
Not done. I heard divide by what?
Negative 24.
Divide this side by negative 24?
Both.
Both sides by negative 24. Equations, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. So let's divide by negative 24. Divide by negative 24. Negative 24y divided by negative 24 cancels. Y is now alone. Negative 24 divided by negative 24 is? Any questions? Okay, what if I went back up to this problem? What if I started out, could I take this and distribute and move things around differently and get a different answer?
Yes.
What did we say about the last equation that we worked? There is one answer.
So if we did it the other way,
You would still get.
and no, I still got the same answer, I just had an unbalanced equation because I had 0 on that side.
But you caught that, right? And you moved something over there to keep it balanced.
Yeah, the plus 24.
Perfect. That's
So it doesn't
absolutely
matter
fine.
whether you do
Nope.
it that way or not?
Nope,
Okay.
it's just a guide, it's like a little hint of what to watch for when you're solving these. Because if you get something that's unbalanced and you end up with, what would that be? Minus 12, 24y minus 24 equals 0. You might accidentally just leave this off. And now you've got something that you're familiar with, right? What is this? What's this called? An expression. Is it simplified?
No.
24y minus 20. Yeah, that's simplified. You might accidentally think that you're done, but you're not. So if you ever lose part of your equation, you could get it wrong because you didn't recognize that your equation was unbalanced. But if you
Except
catch
that-
it, that's absolutely
Right,
fine.
except that in this, you're solving it.
Exactly.
So
And
you have
knew
to
that
keep
from the
going.
beginning. Absolutely. Excellent point.
Okay.
Because before you even start, you know my goal is to solve. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Before you kind of said like a little rule, like if you're gonna like add or subtract, that it has to be a number that I forgot where you left me. Like on the other equation we had, you already raised.
That's gone.
You said we have to do a number that will be lower than.
That's if you want to keep your variable positive, you can bring your smaller number to your larger number.
Okay, there you go.
But that's not a rule, that's a hint. That's something that if you want to do that, because that was a question that Bill had asked, if there was, you know, if this is negative y and that's negative 55 or positive 55, does that mean that y equals negative 55? His goal was, how do I keep that positive? And that was my hint of just bringing the smaller to the larger. Don't have to. As long as you keep working until your variable has a coefficient of 1. Yes. I heard my name and then I heard yes.
So basically on this equation like that, you will have to add 24 on each side.
Yes. Absolutely. Good catch. And that's fine. Is that what you did when you said that your equation was unbalanced? Or you were asking about that?
Oh, can you do that one real quick?
This one right here? Sure. So how do I get y by itself? I have to apply the addition principle, right? I don't apply the multiplication principle until the last step. So let's get rid of the 24 by using our opposite operations. Now you see it, right?
24 now.
Oops, thank you. Divide by 24. Did we get the same answer, but we did it differently? Yes, because there's only one correct answer. All right, one last one before we dive into word problems for a little bit. What's our goal here?
B alone.
Get b by itself. How do I get b alone here? What must I do?
Subtract 8.
8 is bothering, so we must subtract the 8. Why are we subtracting? It is the rule. Because we got to use the opposite operation. 8 is positive, right? So there's that little invisible plus here that you have been using, but you're not really going to use. So if it's being added to this side, we got to subtract it from this side. So we subtract 8, both sides. That's what we do with equations. Negative b equals, what is 13 minus 8? Positive or negative? Positive. Good. Is b alone? Say again?
Divided by -1.
-1. Because this b has a coefficient of -1. It's not alone. So we divide both sides by -1. That will get it to go completely away. And now we're left with b equals positive 5 divided by -1 is? Yay.
Can you do, if you have negative b, and then you have the number equals 5, can you just transfer the sign onto the number?
Technically, that's what you're doing, because you're dividing by that sign.
Because that sign is going to give you always that negative.
Right.
It'll always be the number.
Because you're dividing by a negative. What if 5 was negative?
The negative and negative will be a plus.
So we would divide by
-1.
the -1. So essentially, all we did was switch the signs, right? Well, negative made it positive. But I don't want to say you're just switching the signs. We have to say, I divide by the coefficient, whatever that happens to be. Yes?
Okay, that's why I put that up there, because we need to show that step in our work.
I would. I absolutely would.
So
because
instead
if you
of-
just rewrite it.
Right, if you have negative b equals 5. You can't you don't want us to just move that negative over to the number.
I wouldn't. I would show that you're dividing it by -1.
You need to show that,
Only
okay.
because, and what do I always say when we're doing these problems, it gets worse.
Right.
And as the problems get bigger and more complicated, when you start cutting steps out, you'll start making mistakes.
Okay.
So keep that, it's an excellent habit of showing, I know this is a -1, I'm going to divide, so keep that habit going. Okay, we're pressing on. I gave everyone a yellow handout because we're going to address the translation problems in 3.2 and 3.3. Although some of you attempted them and did very well, we still need to go over them for those that need that practice. Okay, in the homework section, starting on Objective C, page 180. I want you to look at number 74. 74 says -8 plus a number.